We'll get started here in about a little over 1 minute. If you're here on Facebook and you're watching the recording, type in hashtag replay. If you're watching us live, type in hashtag live. Type in and let me know that you are here this morning or this afternoon or this evening, depending upon what time you are joining us here today. All right, we're going to get started here in about 45 more seconds. Bonnie on Facebook, good morning. Aaliyah, good morning on Facebook from San Diego. Thank you for joining us. Jimmy Green, welcome. Sandra, good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. All right. Spotlight. Good, good, good. And let me hit the recording and we will get started. Good morning. This is Eric Lofholm. I want to welcome all of you to the Continuous Sales Improvement Daily Podcast. Happy Monday, clean slate Monday. Thrilled to be with you here this morning. If you're right-handed, take your right hand. If you're left-handed, take your left hand. Pat yourself on the back and tell yourself, great job for being here this morning. Type into the chat. Today is a great day. Today is a great day. Today is the first Monday of the fourth quarter. And I want to give you a couple of tips to help you have a great fourth quarter. And there are exactly 92 days in the fourth quarter. We're on day 3. So we've got 90 days left, counting today, for the rest of 2022. And it is my intention to have the greatest quarter of my entire life. And I'm locked in. So that's your first insight, to be locked in for the last 90 days of the year. And then my second encouragement for you is to have written goals. And so I'll just hold up my goals here. Got them in my binder. Got my goals all ready to go right here. Got 2 pages of goals: personal, health, financial, business, spiritual, family goals. So I want to encourage you to write down your fourth quarter goals. And then my last tip for you on that is to go all in on your goals and dreams. And a lot of people are going through the motions of life, and the clock is ticking on all of us. Every day that goes by, it's one less day that we have on planet Earth. So I invite you to go all in for the last 90 days of 2022. And if you make that agreement with yourself to go all in, and if you lock in, which means to concentrate, and you create your written goals, and you review your goals on a regular basis, you're going to give yourself an extraordinary opportunity to have a fantastic fourth quarter, possibly even the greatest quarter of your entire life. And everything I just shared with you, it's all a choice. It's your choice to write your goals down. It's your choice to lock in. It's your choice to go all in. It's your choice to mentally get yourself geared up to have a great last 90 days of this year. And we all can do it. So your next idea, this could be a breakthrough idea for you. And this is something I've been thinking about a lot myself, because I am you, right? You're here because you want to have a great day. I want to have a great day too. I regularly plug into calls like this or podcasts or listen to Audible, the audiobook program. I have a coach, right? I am you. I'm motivated just like you. And so I've been working on myself. And I want to talk to you about Carrie Underwood. And some of you know the name Carrie Underwood because she's a very famous musician, one of the all-time greatest selling musicians of all time. She sold an estimated 70 million records or downloads or whatever they call them now. And she's probably got 1 billion YouTube views. So she's massively successful in the musical space. But it wasn't always that way for Carrie Underwood. You see, you are Carrie Underwood. I am Carrie Underwood. I want you to listen to this story and see if you can see a breakthrough for yourself in the story about Carrie Underwood. She made it big on the TV program American Idol. That was her big break. Well, she made it to Nashville at age 14 or 15. American Idol, I think she was in her early 20s. She had a record deal, and she had started doing the record, putting all the songs down. And right in the middle of the record deal, the record company said, nope, we're not going to back this financially. And they pulled the plug. And Carrie Underwood went home. She went back to high school and playing high school basketball and I think softball. She went on to college and she was getting close to graduating with an accounting degree. And she had pretty much given up on her singing dreams. And then American Idol popped up and she thought, okay, let me give it one last chance. And she's driving to the audition with her father. She's, I don't know, halfway there from the town she lives in. It's, 5-hour drive, whatever it is. And she tells her dad, Dad, turn the car around. I want to go home. And her dad gives her this pep talk. And he basically says, look, honey, we got to do this. You can do this. And whatever he says to her, and she's okay, fine, I'll go do it. She gets on American Idol. And the rest is history. She goes on to sell 70 million records and becomes one of the most famous musicians and best-selling female artists of all time. Now, let's say Carrie Underwood didn't go to that audition at American Idol. She probably would have got her accounting degree, and she probably would have got a job in accounting or whatever her job was. So listen to me. Which one is she? Let's say she didn't go to American Idol. Let's say she got her accounting degree, and let's say she was an accountant for some company, and that's what her reality is right now. So on one hand, she could have got her accounting degree and become an accountant. On the other hand, she became Carrie Underwood. So here's the question, which one is she? And the answer is she's both. Because her life could have gone one way. But that is your life. In other words, I believe that there is untapped greatness, Tim, inside of you. And what's happening is we're all living our current reality. And we're not realizing that we're a 70 million record superstar global singer. And it's not about becoming famous like Carrie Underwood or selling 70 million records. I'm introducing to you the idea of what if you're greater than what you realize? What if you're operating your life thinking you're an accountant and you're really a superstar? And I'm here to suggest that you are that superstar. And it's not about becoming famous. It's about realizing that we live our lives based on self-image. You look in the mirror. If you go look in the mirror right now, you're going to see a reflection of you. And then you're going to go, well, this is who Eric Lofholm is. And I'm going to see who I think I am. And you're going to see who you think you are. And then what's going to happen is you're going to operate based on what you see when you look in the mirror. But what if you're Carrie Underwood, you look in the mirror and you see an accountant? Or you look in the mirror and you see one of the top selling female artists of all time. It's the same human being. So I want you to be open to the fact that your self-image could be a very different picture than what you're currently seeing in the mirror right now. I want you to doubt your doubts. I want you to have accurate thinking about your greatness. And I want you to question, what do you see when you look in the mirror? And I mentioned this on the call last week, is I just raised my coaching fees from $5,000 a year, which is what I've charged for years. And I increased my fees from $5,000 to $25,000. So coach a human being for 1 year. Now I'm charging $25,000 versus $5,000. So how do I make that leap? How do I create that shift? It came down to looking in the mirror and going, Eric, which one are you? Are you the $5,000 coach or the $25,000 coach? I said, well, I'm the $25,000 coach. Well, that story is you. And I'm not talking about raising your prices. I'm talking to you about having accurate thinking for who you are when you look in the mirror. And if you'll spend some quiet time really evaluating this and looking at who you think you are and going, am I really that, or am I somebody different? Which Carrie Underwood am I? Tim, who's on the line right now, Tim recently decided, he's a real estate agent, and he said that he could sell properties at a higher price point than what he has been selling them at. Kind of like me raising my coaching fees. He did a similar thing in his real estate business. And he said, I can sell properties at a higher price point. If you're in financial services, you can go after clients that have a bigger net worth. If you're selling B2B, instead of going after $50 million and under companies, you can go after companies over 50 million. You could go after $1 billion companies. That's a self-image conversation. So when Tim says, I'm going to go after properties at a higher value, he already was that. He was just getting connected to who he really is. He was already there. He didn't need to go do more work to become that. He's already there. He just snapped his fingers and realized, oh, I am that. Think about what I'm telling you right now. What if you're that financial services professional and all your accounts are people that have a net worth under $2 million? And you could handle an account with somebody worth 50 million. But your self-image is guiding you to the 2 million and under. That's my comfort zone. That's what about a $20 million person with a net worth? No, that's not what I don't do that. That's not who I am. But what if it is who you are? Without any further training, just snap your fingers and you look in the mirror and say, I'm going to go after $20 million accounts because that's who you are. That was the conclusion I came to last week. Now I charge $25,000 for a keynote speech. Why? Because that's who I am. The skill level is already there. Now, this conversation could be one of the 5 most important personal development conversations you've ever heard. If this is resonating with you, type the word yes in the chat. If this is connecting with you, just type the word yes in the chat. I got one last idea to share with you. I'm going to shift gears on you now. By the way, anytime you come to this call, if it really hits the nail on the head, if it really resonates, you really ought to listen to the call 7 times. These calls are only 15 minutes long. So for you to go back and listen to it 7 times, just have it playing in the background when you're driving around in your car. Put the earbuds in when you're doing your workouts, when you're going on doing your walking steps. Have it playing on the computer in the background while you're doing your work, and listen to it. I'm not saying every call. I'm saying if the call hits the nail on the head for you, if you're like, yeah, Eric, I should be doubling my fees or going after clients twice as successful as what I'm currently pursuing, or going after larger accounts, and by the way, everything I'm talking about applies to your fitness as well. If you've been trying to lose weight for the last 15 years, if you haven't successfully done it, it's probably because of self-image. You look in the mirror and you see yourself at the weight that you're at, and you're trying to lose the weight and it's not working because you don't see yourself as lean and fit. And if you see yourself as lean and fit, everything will change. If you see yourself in a marriage where you're always arguing, then that will be your reality. If your self-image is, I'm always arguing with my spouse, then that will be your reality. Or if you see yourself in a relationship where you respect each other and you're kind to each other and so forth, that will be your reality. And it's the same marriage. It's your same body. It's your same finances. It's your same bank account. It's going to show up how you see it. Okay, here's my last little quick tip for you. It's a fourth quarter challenge. Let go of negative self-talk for the fourth quarter. Let go of shame and guilt of yourself. Let go of negative self-talk. You just let it go. All that does is erode your self-esteem. Negative self-talk does not increase performance, at least from my expert opinion of doing this work since 1988. I've been studying this information and I've been teaching it professionally since 1999. I don't see 1 ounce of evidence that negative self-talk increases performance. So you let it go for the fourth quarter. Now, having said that, you're going to quote unquote screw up. You're going to, if you're used to the pattern of negative self-talk, and I just tell you, give it up for the fourth quarter, it's possible that you'll 100% let it go, but it's unlikely. So if you take on the let go of negative self-talk challenge for the fourth quarter, the rest of the fourth quarter, when you find yourself with negative self-talk, I want you to practice self-forgiveness. So if you catch yourself going, I'm such an idiot, you say that to yourself. I want you to say, I forgive myself for speaking negatively to myself. In the moment, give yourself self-forgiveness. Anytime you do negative self-talk, I forgive myself for speaking negatively to myself. You will lose all interest in negative self-talk. You don't need negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is not in alignment with the extraordinary, incredible human being that you are. So you let go of negative self-talk for the fourth quarter. The times that you do it, this is what you say to yourself. I forgive myself for speaking negatively to myself. That's called self-forgiveness. You do that as often as you need to in the fourth quarter. You're harsh on yourself. You're shaming yourself. You're guilting yourself. I forgive myself for speaking negatively to myself. Thank you for joining me today. If you got something out of class today, type the word yes in the chat. We're going to do it again tomorrow, guys. Have a fantastic Monday. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.